All right. So we're live yet again. For those of you who are going to be catching this video after the live, you didn't see that. All right, but anyway, no, we're here on a serious topic, and so I want to get on the point when more students get into the classroom. As you can see with the title of the video, the Nashville school shooting: should school security be mandatory, and should schools be blamed for their lack of preparation in today's time? So. All right, see, we got one. Okay, we went from 1 to 8. All right, cool, bet. We're going into it. You guys getting here quick. I like it. All right, so Nashville school shooting. All right, so we all heard about it. So we're going to talk about it, a little bit of what we know from the shooting and some things we can kind of break down and learn from the situation. So again, this is the supposed shooter, right? Her name, or he, right? Because the shooter, Audrey Hale, who is 28 years old, was born a girl but identified as a man, or as a he. She as a he, right? So Audrey Hale also previously attended this Covenant Christian school in Nashville. And what most people don't know is that Audrey Hale was receiving emotional disorder treatment for whatever's going on in her or his head, right? So people ask, why did this shooter, attack this school? And right now that's under investigation. But one of the main, I guess, talking points about it was the fact that Audrey Hale was transgender and the school was Christian. And so people think that there was some I guess the teachings and the beliefs of this Christian school and the decisions that Audrey Hale had made to become transgender, I guess, didn't really, coincide. And so this is one of the points that people were saying why she went to the school, shooting up this particular school, right? But one thing she did do that was surprising to a lot of people is that she did recon. She had a plan. Audrey Hale had gone to several places, including another school, supposedly a mall, and other gatherings, and had made a plan to see which one of these areas had the least amount of security where she could carry out her attack and kill as many people as possible, right? She had actually picked another school to go shoot up, but she had gone against those plans because the school security was too high. Um, Please know this because she had left a manifesto. A lot of these shooters, whether it be a mass shooter or a school shooter, a lot of the times they'll leave a manifesto or like a suicide letter, basically saying why they're doing what they're doing and all that. And so in Audrey Hale's manifesto, she had picked the Covenant School because the school had no security. Covenant School is a private school, and they had no armed public safety officer on the premises or in the school that would be able to stop a school shooter if one was to happen like it did, right? And so Audrey Hale had gone to all these places and found this school and said, they have no security here. This is the perfect place for me to carry out my attack. And that's what she did. All right. Exactly. A lot of, right? And so there's been some, again, debate within the media because the media, even when there's situations like this where kids and adults had died and lost their lives, politics will still somehow find their way into the media, the news. And so the media is basically saying that she had two AR style weapons. They said that she had an AR style AR-15 pistol and an AR styled pistol. Right? She had an AR-15 pistol and an AR styled pistol. But in actuality, what she had was a Kel-Tec 9mm and a handgun and an AR pistol slung on her body. All right. So I won't show this. I forgot to put this up. Right. She had a 9mm Kel-Tec, an AR pistol slung on her, and a handgun. She also had a tactical vest. And I'm going to play a video that shows how she got into the school. And so this is a news clipping right here that shows that she shot her way in. You can see her actually using the 9mm Kel-Tec to blow holes in the windows of the doors so she can get through. And you'll start to see her start to crawl her way in. No, that's too far. All right. see, the video I had was a little bit longer. It really showed her going through the hallways, entering the doors and whatnot. But I'm not gonna go all the way and find it. But you see, that's how she got into the school. She used her weapon to shoot through the glass windows to get access into the school. So when Audrey Hale finally entered the premises of the school, that's where she went in and carried out her attack, and she killed 3 children. All those children were 9 years old, and she killed 3 adults who I believe were teachers or staff members of the school. Their ages were 60, 61, and 61 again. So those were the victims of this Audrey Hale. 3 children and 3 adults. All right. So while Audrey Hale was in the school, going through the school looking for more victims and taking innocent lives, the police finally did arrive on scene, because pretty much as the shooting had started, 911 was called and dispatched to the location with a possible school shooting in progress. All right. But when the police arrived at the scene, Audrey Hale started engaging the police from the 2nd-story window with whatever weapon. I'm not sure. It didn't really say. As the police arrived on scene, their vehicles were engaged, and they had pictures of the police vehicles with bullet holes in them. She says began to shoot at the police from the 2nd-story window when they arrived on scene. Now, people asked, how long was it till the police got on the scene? And it was 14 minutes. Right? It was 14 minutes from when the first phone call was made to when the police had neutralized the target. 14 minutes. That's a long time for it to be in a really helpless situation where somebody's going through a school. You're a kid, you're a teacher, and somebody's going through the school taking innocent lives and shooting up the place, and you got to wait 14 minutes for help because again, you don't have a firearm on you, and the school doesn't have any armed protection on premises that can immediately engage the suspect right then and there. All right, and so that's a scary thing to think about for somebody who's waiting for help. 14 minutes, that's got to feel like an eternity, right? So I do want to play this video. I did edit it because YouTube likes to kind of mess with me, and so when I actually show like a video of someone like a body on the ground or someone shot and there's blood, YouTube gives me a strike or takes down my video, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're promoting violence." And it's like, I'm just trying to educate, but here is some of the footage from the actual police who got there.
Push the LPV up. Push the LPV up. Reloading. Clear. Move. Watch out.
All right. So there's more to the video, but again, YouTube likes to mess with me, so I don't want to show the body on the ground. We got the point. The cops engaged the suspect with the AR-15 with the LPVO, and then another officer with his handgun finished up the job. All right. So I do want to say, good job on the Nashville PD, right? If you look at the longer videos of the what happened when the police really arrived on scene, they did a really good job. And who was it? Ulavad or Sandy Hook or whatnot? Not Sandy Hook. The one down in Florida, I forgot. Those police departments can learn a thing or two from Nashville. Like, they didn't wait till they got like 20 people on scene. They got like 3 or 4 people, and they made entry and engaged and neutralized the suspect as soon as they quickly could. Right. So all props to Nashville PD on that one. Right. So with that being said, I do want to raise the question, with all these school shootings, with the threat of school shootings being as high as it is, as frequent as it is, should school security be mandatory? Like, should schools be held, like, basically put it in their budget that we need to have at least 2 armed officers on premises at all times when the school is in function, right? Because again, a lot of these shooters, they're doing their research. Like they're leaving a manifesto that's really telling people like why they're doing it. Like this shooter, they picked this school because they had no security on premises. Buffalo, New York, he killed all those black people because he knew in New York they did not have the rights to the guns to be able to protect themselves. Right? A lot of these school shooters or mass shooters are picking easy targets because there's no security. Right? And so at this point, should all these states basically say, "Hey, you need to have security. This needs to be mandatory." All right. Yeah, them. I can't even pronounce it. Ulevad. I might say it wrong. Exactly. 40 some officers, and not one of them was making a push inside like that. And then you see the video of the cops inside. Some of them are on their phone. Some of them are messing with hand sanitizer. Like the response and the concern is just not there, right? So, all right, that's good. Like all these schools really do need to have armed protection, at least like 2 officers, right? That way, those 2 officers can buddy up, and if they have to make entry on a single target, they can do so instead of having to wait for 3, 4, 5, 6 people to get on scene. All right. So again, if it was me, if I was like the mayor of Jacksonville, after seeing this, like I would sit down with all like the Duval County School Board and whoever else I need to sit down with and say, all the schools in Jacksonville, Florida, will have armed security, a minimum of 2 officers on premises anytime the school is in high function. Right? So, when you got class going on, schools are out there, kids are having practice, there needs to be armed security on premises. Right? That is mandatory. If the schools need help from the city to fund and pay for these officers, then the city should pay for it because again, that's just what you're there for. You're there to support the people in your city, right? But that's what I would do if I was mayor of Jacksonville. I would sit down with all the teachers, all the people, and I would say, if you want to have armed teachers, cool. But you will have a mandatory of 2 armed officers who are receiving constant training, right? None of this, oh, I got the license, I went to this class, and that was 5, 10, 15 years ago, and you're out there with Uncle Mike's holster flopping everywhere, you're overweight, right? None of that. None of that. Like, you need to treat school security, like, seriously, right? Have officers who are constantly receiving training, officers who are fit, officers who know how to actually talk to kids, deal with kids, and not just going to be overly aggressive because they can, right? So, but school security should definitely be mandatory. All right. Right. That's a lot, but then again, if you had 5 officers, y'all would be able to handle really any situation. If Nashville PD can do what they did with 3 officers, 5 officers should be able to handle any type of school shooting that goes on because 99.9% of these school shootings is always one person involved. Very rarely is it 2 people. I think Columbine was, really the only time where it was multiple school shooters. For the most part, it's always been just a single shooter. But even if there was 2 shooters, 5 officers, y'all can easily break up into 2 and 3 man teams and engage and neutralize whatever threats. So, that's exactly what I said earlier. Yeah, exactly what I said earlier because she had done her recon. She had looked at like malls and other public gathering places, and she had picked this school because of their lack of security. Right? And so that brings me up to my last and final point of this video. Should schools be blamed? Should schools be blamed for their lack of security? Should schools be blamed for the lack of their effort? And what I mean by that is if all these schools know that a possible school shooting can happen, right? But if you constantly go day after day knowing that this threat is real and is possible, and you don't have armed security or any type of real security measures in place to protect your students, that shows the incompetence of you as a school and a school board, right? Because if you know this is going on, why are you just sitting back and just hoping, oh, this shouldn't happen to us? This shouldn't happen. Oh, shit, it happened to us. Damn. We should have just did this and that long time ago, and this would have never happened, right? Like the other school. If they would have put security in that school, she would have never picked that area. And it really boils down to things just that simple. Having this armed security present on just there. Because again, the other school that had the security, they were protected, right? And they didn't even know it. And that's like kind of the crazy part about it. That's why security is so important. Like you don't even know when the shit works, right? If security, like I do armed security, if security is doing their job, nothing would really happen, right? Because security's doing their job. They're making sure nothing bad happens. They're doing their job. So the school having security and the school shooter driving by and say, I like that place. Oh shit, they got security. Never mind. Then every dollar you put into security to protect your school was worth it. But you don't really know it. Right? But again, should schools be blamed? One, for like their lack of protection. If you know this is going on, why are you not doing anything to protect your students and your staff? And two, a lot of these school shooters, they're not just shooting up the school, for no reason. Now, if you look at a lot of the young kids that are shooting up these schools, if you look at real depth, like they were abused, they were bullied, and so a lot of times you'll see that writing their manifestos, or they'll say when they get arrested, I was getting bullied, I went to the teachers and staff, but no one would help me. All right? Should schools be blamed for that? If a student shot up the school, killed a bunch of people, and he was saying, I was pushed to the edge. I was getting bullied and abused and beat on for 6 months. And I went to the teachers and staff almost every day telling them what was going on, but no one helped me. And I finally snapped. Right? Should schools be blamed for that? Like, if your student is getting bullied like that and you don't do anything, at some point you got to look at the schools and well, why are you just sitting back? Why are you not doing anything? And so those are just the 2 points I want to see from you guys in the comment section. What do you think? Should school security be mandatory? And should schools be blamed if they don't have the proper security and if they don't actually take care of their students who are suffering these mental issues? Whether it be like a real mental issue or whether it be an emotional issue, but if the students coming to you saying I have a problem and you're blowing them off, like should schools be blamed for that? All right. Let me see what the comments said. Yeah, there's a lot of issues in the country, and we constantly find ourselves in the same trap, right? We keep talking about mental health, but again, nobody wants to actually do the groundwork and start peeling back the layers of the onion that shows why are American people mentally ill. And we don't want to do that because a lot of Americans are going to find a real deep self-reflection in the mirror from that they really don't want to see. And we're going to find that as a country, as Americans, a lot of the stuff that we come to love and enjoy is affecting our mental illness. And so what are people going to really do when it's like, oh, we can't do this, we can't do this, we can't eat that, we can't say this, we can't watch this, we can't listen to this music, we can't dance to this. That's when people start to feel, I guess, like they just don't want to do it, right? It start to feel like a heavy weight on people. So it's a lot, it's a lot, right? That's what I say, Right? The school shooting deal was always there back in the day. In my school, the police presence were always there. They took armed security out trying to save money, right? Again, I don't know how many times we can really say, if you're going to make yourself an easy target, like that's exactly what these people are going to do. They're looking for easy targets. So you give them exactly what they're looking for, they're going to take it. And right? Again, I just feel like if something's going on and you fail to take the steps necessary to address that, yeah, you should definitely be blamed for it. Like it should really be like, so what were you thinking? Like, did you not think this was gonna happen? Like, I get you're a Christian school, but churches have been shot up. So like, what made you thought like you was safer than a church? So just things like that. If churches need security and protection, why do you think a school, a Christian school, and especially nowadays, I feel like if you go to any type of religious school or some type of political schooling or meeting or group, like you should definitely have anything that could really get people charged up, like race, religion, politics, gender, like all that stuff gets people really riled up. So if you're in a setting or a grouping that really addresses one of those things that really make people like want to shoot up that place, then you should definitely think about your having security there, right? Like if I was gonna have like, hey, we're gonna have a conference to talk about issues in the black community so we can fix it, make the black community better. I'm gonna definitely have security there because if somebody wants to shoot up a bunch of black people and here black people, we're gonna have a meeting over here. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna try to come over there. So I'm gonna have security. So if they try to come up in there, they're gonna look around and see, all right, he's strapped, he's strapped, she's strapped, he's strapped, she's strapped, she's strapped, he's oh shit. Maybe I ain't gonna go to this one. Right. And then what, bail out. Right. So right. I just wish we is it's easy to talk about it, but to be honest, it's not easy to deal it, like to deal with it or to fix it or to really find, you know, you know, I guess where to even begin. Like dude has set up their country. The country's broken, and I low key agree. Like if like someone had asked me, I think I was talking to my mom or something, and I was telling her like because again, being in the NFAC, it showed me like a real condition of the black community, not just in my city but in multiple cities. And like one of the biggest things that was like on my heart the whole time was that I see how bad the black community is, but I also see how bad America is. And I'm just like, how can the black community build something good and positive when the country itself is declining? The country itself is toxic. Like the country itself is broken. How can you build something good in a bad situation? Like how can you plant a fresh garden in bad soil, you know? So maybe shit like that. Right? Agreed. Agreed. That's why when I put on my post of the video, for anybody who plans on bringing harm or violence to anybody innocent, this will be your outcome and this will be your legacy. And it was the school shooter laid all out, looking like a fucking right, looks like you got hit by a Mack truck, right? Because again, that's what should happen. That's what should kind of be put out there. Hey, if you're gonna harm our innocent people, this is exactly what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get laid the fuck out, right? If you fuck around, you will find out on God. So, right. There's only one real shooting I can remember that happened at a gun shop. I think a guy killed like 2 or 3 people. But yeah, a shooting and a gunshot is less likely to happen, right? I think that guy shot up that gunshot because of something personal with the workers, but I'm not 100% though. Right, right, exactly. Looking like Peter Griffin laid out. But again, I am not gonna make this long. I'm not gonna keep you guys here for an hour. I just want to put out this video real quick, on the school shooting and things we can talk about and learn from the shooting. Right, a lot of these school shooters, they're not dumb. Like they're dumb for what they're doing, but they're not stupid, right? Because again, a lot of these school shooters, they are looking for places that they know they can carry out the attack and they can get away with it as long as possible, right? Because they know that they ain't gonna make it long, they ain't gonna survive, but they just want to be able to do it for as long as possible. So they're doing like their due diligence somewhat on where to go. And at this point, it's like my last video I did yesterday. Like, if these people out here are racist and they're going to exploit you if you let them, and you let them, well, who's to blame, you or them? If you know what they're gonna do and you go out there and let them do it, like really the only person you can blame is you. All right. So again, if you know schools are getting shot up and you don't do anything to protect your school and your school gets shot up, shit. Why the fuck was you waiting for so long? Why didn't you get off your ass and get security? That's literally all you had to do was get armed security. And the school shooter would have came to your school, saw your armed security, and would have left out. Right. And I'm sure the school kind of knows that. And I feel like somewhat in the back of their mind, they're kind of kicking themselves for like shit. Like we talked about this. Like I'm pretty sure every school has talked about having armed teachers or armed security on presence, and someone somewhere said, "Oh, it's just not in our budget." You know, something like that is 0.11 chance of happening, right? So we don't need X, Y, Z. We don't need. We can spend our money elsewhere, and that's exactly what they did. And now they're sitting back like, "Damn, no, if we put that money into the security, the shooter would have never picked this place. These kids would have never died, or these adults would have never died." And it really is sad that the whole situation really boils down to that real thing that the school did not have security because, like the shooter said, I saw other places, but the security was too high. Right, so hopefully the Covenant Christian School, they learn from the mistakes. I want to, condolences to the families that lost, their loved ones, the 3 children and the 3 adults. And hopefully Covenant School will put it in their budget to get armed security on premises, not just one officer, hopefully at least 2. But 2 to 4 is great. I think that's fine. 2 to 4, 4 officers can handle a lot. And they can really get the job done, even if it's multiple shooters. So hopefully that is what happened. Hopefully I see more schools just bite the bullet, fuck it, put it in the budget. And I would like to see the cities of these, I mean, not the cities, the whether it be the city, the state, the county, whoever, and the mayor, the governor, whoever says schools, we're giving you this amount of money just for armed security protection. That's it. All right. If you need help with the budget, we will help you out. That's what I would like to see from America. Right. So uh not necessarily. Because again, I wouldn't. I feel like that would somewhat create a little bit more issues than what it would be. But definitely, but again, you would need a whole police department attached to schools because again, there's more schools than police departments, right? In one little county, there could be 5 to 10 schools, right? You don't need 5 to 10 county sheriff departments in in a county, right? But definitely, just having armed security on presence, 2 to 4 officers. You don't need a whole department. You just need 2 to 4 officers, and you're good. Armed teachers. The thing is, armed teachers with what training? You can't just say arm the teachers and you give Betty White a Glock 17 and she doesn't know how to shoot and and she and she's quick to fear, and so she's gonna just pop the first kid that gets aggressive with her, right? You gotta provide training as to go with these tools. Like when the job hires you, um, they got to bring you on board. They don't just bring you on board and say go at it, right? Or at least a good job. The good job will bring you in. They'll train you up and then put you out there, right? And so that's what we need these teachers. We need to take them in, train them up, and then put them out there, right? Because if you're going to give teachers guns, but you're not going to give them conflict de-escalation training or first aid and medical training if someone does get shot, right, or stuff like that, how to um, how to deal with stress or be in stressful situations. So if you are a small frame teacher and you are confronted with a larger frame kid, he might be the defensive tackle of the football team, and he just gets mad and upset because they're kids, they're not fully mentally developed yet, and so he might be going through some shit at home. His parents might be getting divorced, and he's just emotionally upset. right? But you don't really have the understanding of training to deal with that situation. You just see this big kid getting all aggressive, so you pull out your gun and pop him. All right, you're not teaching anybody. You're not educating the kids in that classroom or anything. You're not educating the teachers in anything, right? So if you're gonna give them guns, give them the training to go with that gun. And so that's my biggest thing, especially when Florida and they're doing their constitutional carry. Like that's great, I love it. But as an instructor, like my thing is to train and educate. And so if you just allow people to just go out and do whatever, uh, that's exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna be, oh, I got cut off, so I waved my gun out the window, straight to jail. Right? Oh, this guy said fuck me, so I pulled my gun out and shot at him, straight to jail. Right? Oh, I caught him in bed with my best friend, so I shot him, straight to jail. Like, and you have all these people doing that shit because again, they just don't know. All right, the training was never provided to them. The tool was provided, but not the training. So anyway, if you do want to get training so you don't become one of those people who go straight to jail, you can sign up with us here at K&A Tactical. The website will be in the description box when the video post on the YouTube channel. And you guys can get, a variety of training all the way from up getting your handgun, your CCW license, almost a handgun license, your concealed carry license. You get handgun training, basic and advanced, shotgun training, basic and advanced, rifle training, basic and advanced, as well as if you're looking to buy a gun, we're an FFL, so we can help you buy a gun. You can buy a gun from us, or if you bought a gun and you want to have it sent to us, not sent to us, or you got to have it sent to an FFL. You can send it to us, and we'll give you the cheapest transfer fee in Jacksonville, Florida. So you can do all that on the website, which is in the description box. And if you would like to support the channel, because we have been fully demonetized, yeah. So if you want to support the LocsNLoad channel and the brand and everything that's we got going on out here, this is the best way to do it. Hit me up on the Cash App. If you don't, that's fine. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button when you can. Hit that subscribe button and notification because it's free and also helps support the channel. All right. That's about it. And yep. So again, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you want to, like, comment, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and stay educated, stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.